Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on the Volkswagen T1 Samba from DeAgostini, stage 109. So let's go ahead and get it open. And we're getting really near to the end because I believe there's 120 stages. So we've got, with the ones I've got now, I've got two shipments, I believe, left to come. And last night on the HTM live stream, I actually finished the miniature version of this. The I did a Samba in blue and white. It's pretty cool. Lit up. Had some problems. It's one half the size of this one. It's 1/16 versus the 1/8 scale. Probably will show it at some point on later on in the video series. But I kind of like it. I started it halfway through this build, maybe a little bit earlier than that, and decided to get it finished up before I finish this one up because they will be displayed together. So let me get the parts open, and I apologize ahead of time if I sneeze or anything like that. I have some sort of a head cold going on and some serious sneezing occasionally. I may actually have to pause the camera while I sneeze. So we've got some trim here. We've got the interior panel and several types of screws. Make sure that's all that's in the bag. So we got some BD09s, some BP12s. Those actually are new screws we haven't had before. BD04s and BP01s. So let me pause real quick, get the screws put away, blow my nose, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all the parts out, and you can see here, this is the interior. It's kind of neat. They have like you would have in the actual van, they have screw heads on here, painted on. That's kind of neat. And then, spots for all the details. I did notice on these detail trim pieces, the armrest and everything, again, I've mentioned this before. I love how detailed they are. They got the little stripe on there, which the model I just finished, the Revell one, I didn't put the decal on because some of the decals that I did put on were really fragile, so I didn't want to try to do that. Plus, getting a decal on a piece like this, considering it was half this size, would be a pretty neat trick. And actually, where this trim goes, it there is no trim on the Revell model there. But here's something I don't appreciate is, and not much you can do because of the way they pack it, but it's bent. I'm not happy with that. And it's not just bent, I can see in the camera, it's bent here and then it bends back here. Once it goes on the vehicle, it'll be good, but the way these parts are packed just in a bag wouldn't be too bad, except for when they ship them, they just throw all the parts in and maybe a piece of paper for packing. But rant over, and I don't know if that's going to be, yeah, you can probably see that. That's where it came off the sprue. Could have been done a little bit better, but not much you can do. Sorry. Feel a sneeze coming on, and it's going to just pop out at the most inopportune time. Okay. So, first thing you do is you take this armrest. Oh, that's nice. Even got a little red stripe on the armrest. The armrest is going to go on here, right here. I don't think, just looking. Yeah, there's no top or bottom to it. It just fits on here. Put it on here, and then from the other side, you use two BP09 screws. And I've mentioned before, P is for plastic, and D will be for die cast. We have some BD screws in this build, or in this pack. So, come on, go in there. that one started, get the next one started, and we'll go from there. Get these parts fully seated, and of course that one popped. The part itself popped out of the hole on the other side. Tighten that down, and since these are plastic, do not over tighten. Excuse me. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. It's an end of spring cold, or end of winter, beginning of spring cold. Not a whole lot of fun. So there's two more. There's two trim pieces here for the window. Let me see. They're identical. They have a post and then a post that a screw goes into. Those are going to go into these holes here and here. Let me make sure I have it the right way. And you can see that you get the hole for the big post, then a hole underneath for the smaller post, and same there. So these are just going to pop in here like this. Come on, go in there. They're going to go in there like that. And then you're going to turn the part over. Let's see, I'm just looking real quick. Secure the bar with two BP12 screws, which I have actually set aside because they are new screws. They do have a flange on them. But you're going to just put the screw in from the back side. The same thing with the second one. And I will be right back because my doorbell just rang. Okay, that was my grandson getting breakfast delivered. Okay, so we put the second one in here. Oops. If I can keep it on here. And tighten them both down. That's funny. I'm doing it the wrong way because, not really the wrong way. They did the top one first. I did the bottom one first. And then there's this little piece. Let me make sure these are identical. There's, yep, two of these. And what it is that there's a little bracket there. That's going to hold the end of this. And it's got a pin. Okay. Got a hole for the screw lug and then a pin on the top. This is just going to slide on here, and it's not going to actually socket in there. The part on the bar that goes across the window isn't going to socket in there so much as just lay underneath up against the side of the van, or the back of the van here. Kind of like that. Oh, sorry. Up the camera. So it goes in there like that, and you can see from the back side here, it just slides inside of there. And that's going to be held in place again by a BP12 screw. This could be interesting getting this set up on the screwdriver because I only have one hand to do it because of holding the part in place. It's a little bit fiddly to get that part into place. But then you tighten it down all the way. And that's what that part looks like right there. Metal will go over the outside of this so you won't see it. This is what it looks like from the inside. So we're going to do that a second time. We're going to do it with the other one. This is where I could pause, but I usually don't pause the camera unless I have issues. We're going to take 3 more of the BP12 screws. two for the bars themselves, one for the part on the back window. Tighten that down. Do the same with that one, the second one. This is actually a pretty cool detail that it was on the actual vehicle. And what these bars are for is because the back end of the floor of the vehicle, since you've got the engine underneath here, the floor is raised. So if you put anything into the cargo area behind the seats, your windows could be in danger. That's what those bars are for, is to keep your windows from getting broken out by, say, a box or a suitcase or whatever you have back there at the back of the car. It's to protect the window. It's kind of a cool, for me, it's kind of a cool detail as well. So got the second one on here, kind of a cool detail, a little bit of chrome on it. And since this was the late 50s, I believe they did a lot of chrome back then. So get this on here. And that is what the interior looks like. This here, in case you're curious, this is where the gas pipe, the gas tank fill pipe goes. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get things off the table here. I've got to pause the camera, and I will bring over the body, and we'll go from there. Actually, I decided that I would start the camera back up just so you can hear how dicey it is to turn this thing over, because you've got windows still loose, flapping everywhere. You've got the a lot of the doors are not completely secure. A lot of things can go wrong here. So there's the interior of the vehicle. I didn't even realize I'd put this one on. Hang on, let me move it over to where you can see it. I had not realized this part was already on here. I just happened to see it. This part of the trim, like I said, this piece will go, this piece will go here, and you can really see there how bent it is, but the screws will pull it down and it should be straight and look okay. But that's not the next step. The next step is to take this part here and put it all the way back here at, no, wrong side. And so I have the van facing the wrong way for me to see it. So let me go ahead and turn that around, and there is exactly what I was talking about, with things able to flap all over the place with that door. And here is the gas filled door. Never has fit completely right. It doesn't open the way it should. It only opens partially. There you can see it only opens partially. It should open completely, and I don't think I put that on backwards, but I might go and look. I don't think I got it on there wrong, but if I did it, I might take it off and check and see if I can put it the other way. The hinge right now is on what I believe is the right way. If it's wrong, that might be what's causing the problem. So before I put this piece on, I'm going to pause real quick, take that off, turn the hinge around, and see if it's actually the problem. If it is, I'll come back while I'm putting it and explain it. If it isn't, I'll put it back the way it is now, and you won't see anything. So I'll be right back. Okay, actually, I did have the hinge on backwards. For the gas door. So this part here I had up against the gas door here, and this longer piece I had against on the car side, and it would not open. I did not think about it until just now, swapping it around. I must have missed it in the instructions if it showed exactly how it goes on. But now if I hold that in place, have the passenger side door flap open, but if I hold that in place, let me see if I can actually, let's do this. No. Trying to find, there we go. Trying to get a good angle where you can actually see what I'm talking about. So here's the gas door. Before it would only open that far, but now it will open all the way. So switch back to the main camera. I'm going to put the screws back in and we'll press on. Interesting thing that, I mean, I'd seen that before. I didn't think much of it. I wasn't that concerned. I'm not going to be sitting here driving the car up to the gas pumps, opening the gas door, and that whole 9 yards. But it is nice to have things actually operate the way they're supposed to. And you'll note that I'm not putting oil on these because the oil is to help, one, if you ever have to take the screws out, and two, it lubricates it as the screw cuts the threads into the die cast. Well, these threads were already cut, so this is going in just smooth as silk. Yep. Slammed the door down. Luckily, it did not break the handle off of it. Oh, you know what? I am a complete and total dork. I switched cameras. I switched cameras, but I did not hit control to move the camera, switch cameras over so you could actually see it. But here, like I said before, the gas door would only open about that far. With the hinge in the right spot, it opens wide up. So swap back over. That's what happens when I don't get, when it takes a long time to get parts, is I forget how to operate everything. So now let's go back to where we were, and we're going to put this part on here, and it's going, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say there's 6 screws. Let's see what it says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 2 screws are not sunk in the way the rest are. And these are going to be all BDO4 screws. I'm just going to start here in the front and forget to get the oil out. I apologize, I've got the oil off camera. Not much I can do about that. I actually bought a new bottle because you can see this one has that little tip there that's going to keep the oil from flowing back down. It doesn't, to be honest, it does not pump it up any better than the old one. And the squeaky chair shall stop for a few minutes because I am now standing up rather than sitting in the chair. I need to start swapping the chair from the one I use during the week over to here when I do the videos, simply so that I don't have a squeaky chair. The chair I use over here for on the videos is about 2.5, 3 years old. This is the third one going in, and like usual, I'm just getting them started. I will go back and tighten them all down. Here's number 4.
put this one up at the top here, making sure I don't get any oil on the cloth sunroof. That would suck. And of course, that is not all the way down. What is blocking this thing? Come on, get on there. Okay, that's on there. That's better. What it was is there's a slight groove in the top there that it was not over. What is that? That's 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. This one may also give me problems. I should have made sure it was down. You should have started with these ones on the top first. Come on, don't cross thread. How do you cross thread when you're cutting the threads as you go? Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, just making sure I'm hitting all of them. Back here in the corner. Let me just make sure I am on camera. And 2 in the very back. Kind of wish these ones that are in the back were actually sunk into the plastic like the rest of them. But can't do much about it. Oh, and I am an idiot. Everybody cheers, Buckman an idiot. Because I put, hang on, let me just make sure, because the screws that came with it said that they were BP. And these are going into die cast, not plastic. So they should be BD. So that may be the problem I'm having getting them to go all the way in. So let me try this again with this one back here. We'll start with the back one here and work our way back around. That is going in so much nicer because it has the sharper threads that it's supposed to have to cut the threads into the metal. That is beautiful. The way that goes in there now is so much nicer than it was going. So let me take this one out. We'll just work our way back around the front, replacing the screws. And since I don't know which ones are, there's no way to really, once you put them into the same container, there's no way to tell which ones are which because they're all black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just throw these screws away because I have plenty of spare screws. Let's go ahead and switch to the bigger head here. Then we'll take these 5 out one at a time and get them locked into place. Get the replacements locked in there. And I'm oiling these even though they're going into holes that have already got a little bit of oil in them. By the way, interesting note here, I have no measurable depth perception, which is why you'll see me kind of going tentatively towards the hole. I have to figure out exactly where it's at. And that's a result of surgery when I was a year old. That it was to keep me from losing my eyesight completely, because one of my eyes did not have the muscles attached, and so it was doing some really weird things. These days they'd probably find some other way besides surgery to fix that, but in the 60s they did a lot more cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and take all 3 of these out at once so that I don't have to keep unscrewing and then screwing and unscrewing and yada 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 yada. That one down. And this one. Three more to go. I actually have 4 in the car right now. There's 1. 2. Come on. There we go. Now this is something interesting. I'm curious to see how this is going to work out. I haven't located where the screws are going to go, but I'll have to look in a second. This door, the second door, is not on here. The one that will be up against this panel. So I'm not sure how that's going to actually work out. So that's those. Let me pause again for a second to get set up for the last piece, and I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to blow my nose as well. But the last thing that goes on here on this in this pack is this piece of trim. And what I noticed and kind of surprised me, this piece of trim for this side, the one side I was just working on, is already on. This piece of trim is on the opposite side. And let me see, we need 4 BP01 screws. Very tiny screws. And they're chrome. Well, not chrome, they're silver. That could have been bad. That what you just heard was me bumping the mat, and the screw box is open, but nothing flew anywhere. So like I said, very small screws and silver. So I'm going to put this on here, and then see if I can find the screw hole, because it's on the opposite side from what I am. Or, well, it's not the opposite side, but it's on the same side as I am, so I'm looking at it upside down kind of. So turn this puppy around. I will say this is not near as awkward as the Ghostbusters car. Yet it's not, but that it may get more awkward as we add the
parts to the, or add the chassis to this. Okay. I don't know if you saw it, but I actually almost put this on backwards. That would not work out well. That one started, so now I can get the rest of them in there. That one started. Two more. And these are going to pull the front of the trim down to where it should be. Hopefully. Once everything's tightened up, it'll all stay in place. But it does, I mean, you can see it, that it does have a bit of a bow to it still. I'm going to chalk that up to, same thing as I had some issues with last night with some of the parts on the little one I built. And I just chalked it up to had an accident, had parts replaced, so they are not pristine and exact. The part that is not in the right place on that model is one of the taillights is just slightly off, so it ended up underneath the bumper. Just, part of it's under the bumper, the rest of it is visible. Nothing I can do to it at this point because it's glued on, and the wiring, I don't want to break the wiring. So there's that one. Come on, find that. Oh, an little interesting tidbit too. Things that have been going on for me. Our dog, one of our dogs, chewed up my glasses. Not bad enough to where I can't use them, but bad enough to where the pieces for the nose are missing. So I've had to do some tape around them and around the support. And it's another month before I can get in and see the optometrist and get new glasses. Okay, what is going on here was, okay, this window wasn't closing one, not in your view. I think this one right here. Okay, so that is it for what we've got to do today. Or, yeah, in this episode. Let me go ahead and see if I can roll this over without things breaking. I just had a screw fall from somewhere. Hopefully it's not an important one. It's a black one. I think it was just sitting in there. It may have been one of the ones for the side panel. But let's see. With this camera, I try to move the camera around, not on the screen. Let's see if I can get it to where one, not with my coffee cup in the middle of the screen. Me not in the middle of the screen. So there we are. It is looking good. The windshield looks fine after the excuse me, after the problems I had with it. I'm not going to try and repair it. I do have to say that I was surprised at how many people watched that video and watched me fail at a video, actually, because this piece over here is broken, but you can't really tell. I used some UV resin to get the parts to stay there. This one won't open. This one will. And this mirror is, I'm waiting until I knock the mirror off because I know it's coming. But that's all there is to do on today's issue. Hope you're enjoying this. If you are, like and subscribe. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook, YouTube, Discord. See what we're doing. We do, as I mentioned, a stream on Friday nights and another one on Sunday afternoon. People are allowed to join through our Discord, which is also, like I said, is linked in the description. Happy to have you. Let you get on screen, chat with us, build with us. And with that, I'm going to call this video. So take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you in the next video.